Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, I'm going to be a psychic just for a moment here, and I'm going to predict that you, everybody listening right now, is going to say, I'm so glad I was tuned in. That was such a fun interview. You know, we have interviews that are serious, and this is going to be very serious. Seriously fun, I think. Laura Vorreyer, how do you say her name, Robin? Vorreyer?
I am not sure.
We're going to ask Laura Vorreyer. I'm going to take a guess at her name. Oh my gosh, this is a fun book. It's called The Pet Sitter's Tale. And where do you hear about this? Laura is a longtime professional pet sitter to the stars. Not to us normal people, Robin, to the stars.
I know.
And that's half of what makes this fun, because if you think they're privileged, wait till you hear about the dogs. She's an expert in pet behavior and pet care. She's the owner of Your Dog's Best Friend, a premier dog walking and pet sitting business in Los Angeles, which means she must have got up early to be with us.
Yeah.
She's an advocate for animal rights and dedicated to pet rescue. The book is It's just fun. It's just a fun book, and I'm predicting the interview is going to be as fun. Laura, I'm so sorry I didn't do very well on your last name. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, my gosh. You sound as fun as your book is. Just your voice alone has that sound to it. How do you pronounce your last name?
You said it right. It's like warrior with a V, Vorreyer.
Vorreyer. Okay. Well, thank you for helping me understand that. How long have you been a pet sitter?
Oh, going on over 15 years now.
Really? And explain to the audience how that started for you.
Well, it started accidentally, like most amazing things do. I actually came out to L.A. to be a makeup artist and sort of floundered at that for a while. I was picking up extra work walking dogs, and I was walking a dog for a wannabe actress, and I stumbled on a lot, and out of a trailer came Paula Poundstone. She said to me, "Hey, are you one of those professional dog walkers?" And I looked at her and I said, "Yup."
Oh, that's fun.
Good for you.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes, right? I was like, I could picture her being a makeup artist, probably won't go anywhere, but definitely take her up on the dog walking opportunity.
Oh, yeah. Now, in your mind, where did you move there from? Where did you move to LA from?
Chicago. I lived in Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago, moved out here in 2002.
Okay, so you wanted to be a makeup artist, and you were imagining yourself working on movie sets, getting the stars all ready for the next big shot, right?
Oh, I had practiced my Academy Award many a time. Yes.
So did you ever get any of those jobs? I'll get back to the pet sitting in a second. Did you ever land any of those gigs with the makeup?
No. I'll tell you what happened was, I worked in Chicago pretty successfully, and the market in Chicago is completely different, and I kind of write about this in the book, that in Chicago you can work a lot without your union card, and so I did a lot of independence, I did a lot of small budget, I worked on student films, I worked on, a lot of stuff. Nobody ever said anything about a union card, and it was easy to get work in Chicago. So when I came out to LA, I got the same job that I had in Chicago at Barney's, New York, and I was trying to get work, couldn't get any traction, and I was with a photographer one day, and he's like, "Well, do you have your union card?" And I said, "What union?" I was like, "There's a makeup artist union?" And he was like, "Oh, yeah, you got to be in the union." And I was like, "Oh, how do you get in the union?" Pretty much you don't. So I was like, "Oh, my God, it's really tough." Is
it like being in the Screen Actors Guild? Because you have to, there's a catch-22 in there, isn't there?
Absolutely, exactly right. It's a catch-22, so you can't get any work if you don't have experience, and you can't get any experience if you don't have any work, and it's exactly that. So I was really frustrated, and combine that with the fact that so many makeup artists come out to LA to work in film and television. There are actually more makeup artists out here than there are actors. So it's just really, really tough. And when you need to work, when you're kind of struggling, you're kind of on the edge, you got to make some drastic decisions, because if you wait around for the makeup jobs to come around, you could be living in your car. So that's the point that I was at when Paula just kind of came in at the right moment and saved me.
So now you went professional as a dog walker because of a story that's very, very funny in the Going Pro chapter of the book. I was wondering if I could get you to tell the story.
Oh, so about meeting Paula Poundstone?
Was it Paula Poundstone? I don't know. It was the one with the pimply butt.
Oh, God. Oh, yeah. So this is one of my final jobs as wanting to be a makeup artist. And I was struggling. I was doing weddings, which makeup artists call dreadings, because, you know, you're dealing with brides and bridezillas, and, you know, it's never perfect. So somebody gave me a tip on a job in adult film out in the Valley, and they said, look, you know, it's probably not the film and television you had envisioned, but it pays really good. Why don't you go and just see what it's going to be like? So I said, okay, so I know this is going to be adult film. It's not my thing, but that's nothing wrong with it, but I'm just going to see because I really need the money. But here I am, like this Midwest girl from Chicago, and I'm kind of like, okay, well, you know, I'm going to see what happens. So I drive out there, and there's this like huge complex of houses, and I'm like feeling very impressed. Like, okay, well, this isn't, you know, like some crappy little building. Like, this is actually a legitimate company. And that did give me some like good feeling. Like, okay, this is at least legitimate. So I walked in. I had an interview with this man who was kind of the ringleader, the boss, and he kind of could tell that I was a little bit like trepidatious to take the job, like what am I getting myself into? But at that point, you know, I really thought this could go both ways. This could be great for my career. This could be really good. I'm just going to try it. Now, I was thinking I'm going to be making all these women and people look so glamorous that they're definitely going to hire me on a movie, on a real movie. So I interview with him. He says, I'll give you a chance. Well, when I meet the star, you know, it turns out she does her own makeup. I just need to cover up her butt.
Oh, my gosh. And how old were you at this time?
I was like in my mid-30s.
Oh, okay. So, what was it about having to put makeup on her butt that changed your life?
Oh my God! You know what? For me, that was just the final straw. It was like lowering my standards so much that it just became like a new thing for me. When I came to LA, you know, I had always worked and gotten paid in Chicago, and then when I came to LA, people were like, "Well, you have to TFP," and I said, "Well, what's TFP?" And they said, "You have to trade for print." And I said, "What do you mean? You don't get money?" And they're like, "No, you just get a print." And I'm like, "I'm gonna work 8 hours on something. I can get." Oh yeah. And a lot of people will do that. So it was just lowering my standards constantly, and that was kind of the final straw for me. I said, I can't keep living like this. I'm going to go back to Chicago with my tail between my legs and just, you know, it never happened.
Yeah, so sad ending,
something has to change for me, and I was, you know, obsessed with it, because when you're running out of money, you know, that's all you think about. It's like, I'm running out of money. It's like the funnel, you know? You're like, oh my God.
I hear what you're saying, and I know that story from so many people. All right, so before we get to the dog sitting part, I have to ask you this. Is your name in the credits of the film you did work on?
No, it's not. I made sure of it.
All right. So, can we name drop a little bit, or are you not allowed to tell us whose dogs you walk?
Oh, I can name drop a little bit. I'm not saying anything that's not true.
Well, how about the name of the dogs? You got the dogs in the book, right?
That's true.
Wonderful pictures,
absolutely.
too.
Oh, I love dogs.
Pictures.
Thank you. You know, I had to get permission to use the pictures, and it was always my belief that dogs were considered sort of property, and you didn't have to get permission. But as I was publishing the book, the publisher said, "Do you have permission to use these pictures?" And I said, "Well, no, because they're dogs." And they said, "You need to get permission to use these pictures." So
really?
then I had to go back to all my clients and said, "Could you put it in writing that I can use your dog's picture?" And thankfully people did. But
oh my gosh.
I had never thought that. Yeah.
So are you at the point right now where you are like friends with some of the celebrities that you work for?
No.
No. So
No.
So what do you do? Do they bring the dogs to you, or do you go to their house and walk the dog?
You go to their house and walk the dog. Yeah, everything comes to them. So basically, that's sort of the service that I supply. That's a little different than what maybe some other businesses do. So my model is the one-on-one dog walking. So it's private. It's one-on-one. We don't pick up a bunch of dogs, stick them in a van, and take them to a dog park or on an off-leash hike. We do one-on-one private dog walks, and a lot of people like that because they don't want their dogs, with other dogs. They're not predictable, and so they just want their dog to get a private walk. So we'll go to a client's house, we'll pick up their dogs, we'll take their dogs either in the neighborhood or to a local park or on a hike, whatever they like, but just with those dogs from that household. So
Really?
They're not sort of fraternizing with any other dogs.
Now, I would want to walk my own dog. I would think this is half the fun of having a dog is walking your dog. Mm-hmm. So do they ever walk their own dog, or are you always the dog walker?
I don't think they walk their dogs that much as they would like because they're so busy. Everyone's so busy. But I do think on the weekends or when they can, people do walk their dogs. But most of my clients, I would say at least 60 to 70% are just people, like us who are going to a job early in the morning. They're not getting back till late at night. And when they get home, it's too dark, too cold, or they're too tired to walk their dog. They're gone 7 to 7. The last thing they do when they walk through that door at night is want to see their dog going, hey, let's go for a walk, So we usually come at least once a day, sometimes twice. Most people will have at least once every day, but some twice or even 4 times, up to a client who has up to 4 visits a day. And they want their dog walked, 7, 11, 3, and 7 because they're gone like all day, and so their dog is bored or destructive or just, lazy. So they want their dog to get activity. They want their dog to have the socialization. They want their dog to get out and have fun.
And you do more than just dog walking. I mean, you actually spend the night at people's houses when they're off on vacation or some kind of a trip, and you take care of the animals.
Oh, yeah, we've done that all the time. When I first started, I was sleeping so much at other people's houses, I thought about giving up my apartment because I think I spent one night at my own place in 30 days. Oh, that's a great service because, well, this is, going back before there were so many options. People would travel. They'd go out of town for 10 days, and they didn't know what to do with their pet. And the other thing is they didn't know what to do about their house. I mean, you can ask your neighbor to look after your house, but if you don't know your neighbors very well, then that's a little odd to ask a stranger to look after your house.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's also a good ancillary service just to have eyeballs and somebody coming and going in your house. It makes it less likely to be burglarized.
But you take the next step. I mean, dog-eat CPR and all of that stuff. It's just not like you're somebody off the street that just, was doing this.
You have to know pet first aid because you never know. We've had incidences where a pet has fallen in the pool, a pet got bit by a snake, or a pet had a fight with another dog. So it's really good to just know that basic CPR and what to do in an emergency if you can't get a hold of a vet. And, for a pet, it's not like us. You see somebody get hit by a car, you call 911. Well, if you see a dog get hit by a car, you call 911, nothing's going to happen, So you have to know how to react quickly so you can save that dog's life if you need to.
What happened to Ralph, the 17-year-old golden retriever?
Oh, that was a sad story.
God,
that was
so sad. And you know what? The worst thing about being more than sad, it was shocking. I never even thought that would never even came into my mind as like a word bubble. I never thought that he wouldn't make it. I was house sitting in this gorgeous house, which I was actually so focused on the gorgeous house, I never thought that the dog might die while I was watching him.
Oh my God.
And that's exactly what happened. I was watching this great dog. He was very elderly, so he was a very senior dog. He was 17 years old, which I think is like some kind of record for a golden retriever. And he took a lot of meds. He had open heart surgery. He had just been kept alive by, medical science. And he was a sweetheart. And he was just really old. And when his parents left to go out of town, he laid down, took a nap, never woke up again.
Oh, no.
I know. It was horrible when I realized that he was dead. I mean, I wouldn't want to relive it for anything. He was slow, as you can imagine, and he would he would stay put in one place and just watch you. You know how dogs follow you around.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
he was so old, he wasn't really following you around except with his eyes.
Oh, no.
You know, he'd watch you, and I sat down to watch a movie. I'll never forget, I was watching Constantine, and I know, right? You remember those details.
Yes.
You know, so, and then I got up, and I walked by him, and I looked at him, and I said, oh, my God, Ralph, you know, don't lay there like that. It kind of looks like you're dead. And then I was like, oh, my God. And then I remember crouching down and looking at him, and I was like, oh, please, no. Please, no. Don't let him be dead. Don't let him be dead. And I was like, shook him a little bit, and then, you know, you instantly know. I was like, oh, my God, how could this happen? I was so distraught. And then I had, again, another catch-22. My clients were in Hawaii. It was their daughter's wedding, and she was getting married that night. It was early in the morning on a Saturday in L.A., and I thought, oh, my gosh, if I call and tell them that their dog passed away this morning, is that going to ruin the wedding? You know, like, what am I going to do?
Yeah. So what did you do?
You know what? After a little bit of a debate, I called them because I didn't know what to do about Ralph, and I thought if I wait till tomorrow, you know, it's not going to be good.
No.
So I better get it out of the way.
I know. I had Larry and his family went out of town. He asked me to babysit his goldfish, and the goldfish died, and I felt so bad about that. But to have a dog die that you're babysitting for is worse, I think.
No, you know what? I've lost a couple fish too, and the funny thing about a fish is, yes, people can get attached to them, but nothing like a dog. You know? No, I mean a dog for 17 years. I mean, and the other thing was that was their son. You know, because they had girls and daughters who they loved very much, of course, but there was something about having that baby golden retriever, that puppy, that boy. You know, he was part of the family, and oh my gosh, they were so distraught. It was very sad. I'll probably never forget it as long as I live. I'll never forget that.
Did they ever get another dog, and did you ever become their pet sitter again?
Yes. I can't believe it.
Well, that's good.
So,
yeah. Well, so they didn't blame you. They weren't blaming you then.
No. You know, but I kind of thought that they maybe thought that I might have been responsible somehow. I don't know how, but I think it's just human nature to kind of want to have a cause, maybe blame somebody or just have a reason something happened, or, you know, so there were a lot of questions like, what did I do? What was I doing? Did he have all his medications? I remember them coming home and wanting to see the medication bottle and making sure I'd give him his meds and what did he eat? I mean, it was a little bit of a nerve-wracker for me because, as I write in the book, the dad, the father, he was a huge attorney out here in L.A., like a powerful attorney, and he had asked me all these questions, like if I was like a witness or on the stand about what exactly happened.
You know,
when even if you're completely innocent, when you're trying to like tell a story of like what you were doing, you know, all of a sudden your memory is not that good. You're like, what was I doing?
So in the book, you reveal that you get paid $25 per walk, correct?
Yes.
Okay, for those of you who want to be a pet sitter, that's not bad. that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And you know what? I never raised my rates. Like just now, I'm still at 25. Can you believe it all this time? Because I started super high. I didn't know it was so high at the time. So it's 25 for one dog, 30 for two, and that's for a half-hour private walk. And I just got a call from one of my clients who I couldn't help because she just moved a little too far. And she said, I had this other service quote me $47 a visit. And I said, well, I got to raise my prices.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, so there's a huge, you know, continuum in prices there.
So how do you advertise?
I do a couple different things, and since I've been in business for so long, I'm happy to say I get a lot of clients from word of mouth. You know, a lot of people will say, like, oh, you got to call Laura, your dog's best friend. So word of mouth, I do advertising on Yelp, too, yelp.com, and vets know me, you know, a lot of people who work at groomers know me, just people, trainers know me. So it's sort of a small industry where we kind of know each other, and we know what each other's niche is. So
do they ask you if you have any veterinary training? I mean, do you need that or no?
You know, it's good to know the basic CPR, how to administer a shot, how to give a dog a meds, you have to be sure that you can watch out for things that, your dog is failing or has, not out in LA, but hypothermia now in most of the country when you're walking the dog, if the dog has gotten too cold or maybe gotten blood. But you don't really need specifically vet tech training, but it definitely helps to know the basics. God forbid there's an emergency.
Yeah,
But
really.
you're very conscientious, though. When you do overnights and longer than that, you said in your book you always make sure you wash the sheets, you make the bed, you take your food out of the refrigerator.
Oh, there's a
Wow.
lot to it. There's a lot to it. It's not like you're staying at a hotel where you just grab your things and walk out the door. You have to make sure that the house looks, and I tell all the people that work for me, make it a little bit better than when you found it, even if the person is not a neat person. Take their garbages out, but put the roll of toilet paper on that was at the last sheet,
Don't you
do
hate
those
that?
extra things. Yeah, exactly. Do those, don't leave dishes in the sink, run the dishwasher. I give everyone this really good spray that they spray on the dog. I'm like, we don't groom dogs, but, make sure the dog smells nice. Give them a brush out, go the extra mile. And I think that's what made me stay in business for so long and get so many referrals is going that little bit of extra mile.
And then you get those questions too about, from your clients that you say, well, where am I going to sleep? And then the sex thing always comes up.
You know what? That's so awkward. And I don't do the over. Oh, yeah.
What?
People want to know if you're going to sleep in their bed. Where will you sleep? And you know what's so funny is most people just want their
Are you going to
dog
have
to be
sex in their
comfortable.
bed? She says.
Oh my gosh.
These people are strange. Most people have an extra room, but if they don't, they really want you to sleep where the dog likes sleeping.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I knew this was going to be fun. Laura Vorreyer is on the phone out in Los Angeles. What part of LA are you in? I know the area a little bit.
I'm up near Calabasas, so I think most people are familiar with that. And so not too far, maybe I'm up the coast from Malibu, about 10 miles from the coast, so
okay.
just a little outside of the city, yeah.
So is that, do you have a radius as far as how far you'll go? You said one of your clients moved out of where it's too far away.
Palm Springs too far. So I have two locations. So I have a location at the Marina Del Rey, and I have a location right here in the valley, so in Woodland Hills. So there's two locations. There's about 15 people who are independent contractors who walk, 4 or 5 dogs a day, and then everyone is available for overnight.
Laura, do you use your name and that's it, or do you have a business name?
It's your dog's best friend.
What is it called?
Your dog's best
Your
friend.
dog's best friend. Okay. And are you the only person at that company that you made, or have you hired other dog walkers?
There's about 15 independent contractors, and my daughter, who's 28, she runs the second location for me at the Marina.
You have a 28-year-old daughter? Wow.
Wow.
I know. Getting married this year, so go figure. Time flies.
I'm looking at your picture. You don't look old enough to have a 28-year-old. So let me ask you this. Gosh, where was going to go with this question? I forget. So, do you ever work with anything other than dogs?
Oh, absolutely. You name it. So dogs, cats, birds, pigs, believe it, a llama once. You have a lot of land out here that is, I know a llama, chickens, snakes, reptiles. If it can walk, talk, or fly, we can take care of it. The only thing I really don't like taking care of is snakes. I'm terrified of snakes, but I did have a good client that had a ton of snakes in these cages, these glass cages, and I would have to give them the mice. It was I hated that. I know.
They have to be alive when you give it.
Oh yeah.
Live mice. You can't.
Really
I
not
couldn't do
good.
that. I couldn't do that either.
It's so hard. It's so hard. But basically anything. We've taken care of a lot of horses and a lot of turtles. Turtles got really popular for a little while, and they're so easy. So tortoises, turtles, rabbits, chickens, horses, you name it. I can't think of anything we haven't taken care of. So a lot of people love pets out here.
Before we run out of time, you gave us some books to give away. So let me read what you sent us, or somebody sent us. The book, The Pet Sitter's Tale, paints a vivid picture of what it's like to witness and be a willing participant of the pampered life of a celebrity's dog. written by entrepreneur Laura Vorreyer, who's our guest right now, who pioneered the dog walking industry in Hollywood over 15 years ago. The Pet Sitter's Tale is funny, wacky, and incredibly heartwarming. Go to Amazon.com to learn more and also to buy one. However, you guys sent us some copies. So if you call in, I will make sure that the copies that we have can be set aside. If normally we have one book to give away, in today's case, we don't only have one. We have more than one, but I don't know how many we have.
Yes. Five.
Oh, there they are. Okay, five. So we can take 5 callers if you want the book. It's a fun book, and it may even give you an idea. I don't know that we have any professional dog walkers in our town. It might be a thing.
It could be.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
You think? I don't know.
Oh, I think so. I'm on all these groups on Facebook, and everyone is, it
Really?
seems like everyone's doing it now.
I had no idea. All right. Well, Laura, thank you for being on the air with us today. What we'll do is have to take the calls after we say goodbye to you. Let me see. Where am I hearing? My headset. I hear
website.
Something. The website. What is the website? Yeah.
The website is thepetsitterstale.com, and you can buy the book on my website or on Amazon.
Okay. All right. Excellent. I don't know why I'm hearing the wrong thing in my headset. All right. Here we go. All right. Thank you, Laura. That was fun. Thank you so much for being on the air with us today.
Thanks for having me, guys. Have a great day.
All right. You too. We'll be right back.